transition. This what y'all been missing. Sit down, pay attention, and listen. Mark and T, speaking for the culture. Welcome to the Adverb Show. Adverb Show. Welcome to the Adverb Show. Welcome to the Adverb Show. Welcome to the Adverb Show.
Welcome, everybody. This is Mark White.
It's your boy, Ito.
And welcome to the Adverb podcast where we add the verb.
That is footwork and words.
Exactly. And we got another one for you today. This is season 2, episode 2. Man, look where we at.
Man, this isn't just another one. This is historic.
This
is
the
special.
one.
This is the one.
The one.
Episode.
All right.
That I'm going to remember. What about you?
I'm going to remember it. There's
Okay.
a lot around this.
Okay.
I got stories with this one. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? From yesterday to today, this one's like a 48-hour vacation.
It is. No, really. Can you wake me up?
Yeah, I'm not going to slap you. But
Don't slap me.
Yeah. But it's cool, though. We got a special guest for y'all today. And other than that, what we going to talk about?
Man.
What we gonna
so
give them?
I want to go into what are our episodes. This is season 2, right?
Yep.
We've had, about 10 episodes? What are your favorite episodes? Give me a top 2 favorite episodes.
I just like the fact that on top of just having some favorite episodes, I noticed we have some progression going on from,
Okay.
2023 to now. We've definitely come a long way.
We have.
One of my favorite episodes when we were talking about African American history.
Okay.
We talked a lot about different things in there that were funny and humorous at times, but just definitely educational.
Yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
that I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
Some of these episodes we do force you to research and look stuff up.
It does,
So
yeah.
we believe here in Adverb we're very educational, which we bring on people that are going to give you that education and drop those gems.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I really liked the episode where you talked about the Impala.
Okay.
I actually thought you were going to pull up in the Impala today, which is why I thought.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will say the fatherhood episode. Well, it wasn't a full episode about fatherhood, but we mentioned that.
Yeah.
I was talking to my man's here actually behind the desk about that a little bit, like
Mm-hmm.
the way we were talking about. Are you a bum if you ain't taking care of your kids?
You
Or
are
you
a bum if you're not taking care of your
if you're not taking
kids.
care of
And
responsibilities?
if you don't believe you're a bum if you're not taking care of your kids,
You're
just
a bum.
believe it. And so that was cool. For me, I think the episode that was touching my heart, one of them was reparations. As black men, we and black people in general, we deserve what belongs to us, and I just wanted to highlight that. Another one that was near and dear, I would say, would be the golf tournaments that we do. I don't know if we had a full episode of the golf tournaments, but the charities, the giving back, that whole spirit and energy is where I'm at in my life. So that episode was very important to me.
and then with those charities and the people we've met, like we'll get into that as well. The people we've met going to those functions, and being a part of those charities help us grow as an entity.
Shout
as
out
well,
to
so.
Big Don. That's my
Big
big guy. That's I would say my mentor. I don't have a lot of mentors, but everybody who wants to do something for their community, you need a mentor so you can get what they've already got and not have to go through it to get it. If that makes sense.
And
so
brother,
shout out to Don.
shout out to Don. He's back here too, brother. You definitely
good
dropped
guy,
gems
solid
on us. Definitely
dude.
dropped gems on us. So we appreciate
and
the
that's
conversation.
kind of through the charity, through the golfing. That's where I'm at in my life right now. So
Well, look, that's good. We've gone over season 1 so far. A little bit of season 2 is in effect. So
let's
today,
go.
help me with the intro. What we got going on today? How do you surprise them?
Man, you know what I'm going to say right now? I'm feeling black excellence right now. Black excellence is the way I'm feeling. So that's going to kind of be how we introduce our special guest, is just to recognize what black excellence is. Do you think our guest is black excellence?
Yes, she is very much black excellence in very many ways. We've gone over, talking about her as of recently, how she's been a model, actress, is an actress in my opinion. You don't stop till you're gone, and you out here still kicking and moving.
Yes.
You're influencing and inspiring, and she's doing that on the daily. She has with us, and she's been here so far, and so now, if we can introduce the beautiful, magnificent K.D. Aubert.
K.D. Aubert, welcome to the Adverb podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to give it up for you, actually.
Yes.
You got to give it up.
a round of applause.
People behind the desk can't clap, but we give it up because we appreciate you being here.
I'm good.
Very
I'm
good.
good.
How was your trip?
My trip was amazing.
Okay. How are they treating you in Arizona?
I don't want to go home.
Oh, well, that's
I'm gonna cry in the car.
Oh no.
No, yeah.
You getting treated that good?
It's
Okay,
been amazing.
okay.
I mean, from just from the flight to the hotel resorts, I should say.
Yeah.
The golf, the food, everything.
The heat.
I'm so appreciative.
How was the heat?
Yeah, it'll scramble your brain a little bit. You know, it's like 106 at about 9 a.m. But still, you know, we need it, right? Vitamin D.
Yeah, vitamin D.
I just try to put that. I'm like, okay, I need this. I'm on fire, but I need this.
Yes. So what have you been doing? Today or yesterday? What you been up to?
You mean here in Arizona?
Yeah. What you been up to?
Well, I played a round of golf this morning.
Okay. I was with you.
Yes, that was awesome.
Okay.
And I ate.
Okay.
And then I ate again.
Then
I slept and I ate. No.
Very important. So you do a lot of traveling. Am I correct?
Yes.
Where have you been? Like in the last 5 years, like where have you gone? Where have you visited? How's it been?
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm like kind of like a gypsy a little bit.
Okay.
I've been traveling since my modeling career started overseas pretty much. I mean, I was based out of LA, but I was shipped overseas to start doing runway and, you know, print modeling in Germany and things like that. So, and then I adapted this habit where it's like I'll go to another country and if I like it, I'll stay there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question about that. So when you said you went over internationally for modeling, would you say so starting in LA, would you say like you got more of your work, the beginning of your work was done internationally, or you worked harder out here and then you got shit because of that work?
No, it kind of happened very, very fast.
Okay.
For me, the only setback that I had was I was a plus size girl, so I was just coming out of playing professional softball, so I was like, I was
Thick.
thick, and I'm 5'10", but I was still like thick, so I had a weight issue in the beginning of my modeling career. So once we got that under control, then I was able to. They shipped me out overseas.
Okay.
Is it like harder, like working overseas? Like I guess, the type of bosses or just like work you have to do when it comes to modeling, things that we're not aware of. That are there differences between the United States and like internationally that kind of can stand out?
No, it's just. I mean, the trends, they're pretty much the same. You know, it's like sometimes, like when it comes to modeling, I think like LA kind of was, I think at that time, see, this was like around the time, I don't know if you remember when like Calvin Klein was a big deal and it was all the Calvin Klein models and everybody looked really sick and skinny and like
like they could slip through the cracks of the concrete and just
right, because I was struggling because of my weight, and it was like I had to work hard to get my weight down to fit into what was on trend,
quote unquote.
And
to your defense though, did you plan on being a model? You were discovered, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, my career is quite funny. I can't wait to do like a movie or a book someday because it's just, I think it's so whimsical and serendipity. Like it's just, there's so, nothing was ever kind of planned. Like I was an athlete. I played softball. Okay. That was it. Like I knew I was going to go to college and play on a scholarship. Then I was like, one day I'll coach, at a college or university or whatever. But I started off as a hair model.
Okay.
So it was literally like, and I used to I get some kind of like weird satisfaction hanging out at hair salons.
Why is that, you think?
Tell us more.
No,
because I want to know what that means. Like, because I go to hair salon.
It's not what you think.
Okay.
So it's like, I have like a warped sense of humor. I think I have a great sense of humor. But it's just, I get a kick out of making people laugh. And I know in hair salons, I don't know. I just tend to go around. If anybody that is listening to this that knows this, they will be like, she ain't lying. I love to hang out in hair salons and just mess with people.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It's like a challenge to see if I can make people laugh or something. But it was just funny because I was in college and we used to do hair shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like we would have a bunch of fried chicken and a bunch of boxed wine, and we would plan these hair shows.
A good time. That's what that sounds like.
That does sound like a good time.
That's what it was. And so that's where I was discovered as a hair. I used to do all the big hair shows.
Got it.
And next thing you know, I was in all the hair magazines. I was a big girl, but I was in all the hair magazines and on the little chart with the numbers on it, and you pick the style you want. Like
I want that number 13 right there at KD's.
Right, with the flip.
What would it be considered today? What you call being a big girl? Would that be, because I think being a model now is a little different, would you say?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because now you can just go on Instagram and, or you can kind of like doctor things up. Because like back then it was like, okay, if a girl had like fake boobs or whatever, it kind of wasn't like like having a big ass was not the thing.
thing,
You
yeah.
couldn't fit the clothes.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
fashion would not
Yeah.
work. So it was like, fake titties, you could always push them up or
Yeah.
tape
Yeah.
them down. But anyway, so
Yeah,
it's like it's like
Okay.
it was just a different time. Like
Yeah.
it would not work.
Okay.
This was what is considered modeling today
Yeah.
would have not worked. And
So
it's
like
vice
the
versa.
death of like being natural, would you say? I guess. Is that
Yeah,
what
it was more about natural, because remember, like the models, some of them wouldn't even have breasts, and they were like
Okay.
the most highest paid, most
Got it.
recognizable. Yeah.
Speaking of models, what happened to the video vixen?
Well, I'm right here.
It just seems like we don't see, models, like back in the days in the videos, and they had their camera time, and
No, it brings a tear to my eye. Like no, but seriously, I think that like it was pretty awesome back then, because I feel like the artists knew that they had to have this beautiful
Yeah.
woman in order to sell the song.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was like we got all the beautiful setups.
Yeah.
And now like we were talking, and I was telling you,
Yeah.
it's like we got the close-ups and the slow motion shots, and
Yeah.
we had our own stylists and makeup. It was just more attention.
You guys were glorified better or celebrated better.
We were
than
celebrated.
anything else.
I agree.
Yeah, it's
We were
actually
definitely-
genuine celebration that they gave. It's like the 90s to the 2000s, even to now. You can see that generational difference in the decades.
Yeah.
What changed? Do you
I think that I think the artist, well, the music changed for
Okay,
sure,
okay.
because you kind of can't have this. I don't think that it works when you're trying to like if you're trying to serenade a woman and get a woman to fall in love with you, then it works. But if you're kind of like talking about beating her upside the head with your
Yeah.
penis or something,
It's-
you kind of can't have. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no,
It's
I
like how do
understand
you
completely? Yeah.
how do you make
It's
that
different.
sexy?
Yeah, no, really.
You know what I mean? You
yes.
can't
I feel
Yeah.
like today, like the music rappers and even R&B singers now, because it's like there's like a blend now with the way rappers and R&B singers even kind of talk. It's kind of like they celebrate options more than anything else. Like
Yeah,
it's
and
not
that's
even
what-
about
yeah.
somebody in particular. And now, unfortunately, it feels like sometimes these young boys out here listening to this music, they glorify the options. And if you're somebody who doesn't like that, you're more of like a relationship kind of
Yes,
dude.
yes, yes.
You're not celebrated, and all of a sudden you kind of don't have no avenue. And so like they're kind of killing that, which is kind of messed up. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure. So it's just kind of like, and then like being that the options are now that's the concept is just how many can I have? Then the money goes down,
Yeah.
and then it's just kind of like, okay, instead of having us come in for a wardrobe fitting, okay, just bring some of your swimsuits.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
not
like-
really no thought taken.
Yeah,
into it.
we used to
Yes,
have
no
our clothes used to
time.
match his clothes.
Yes, I remember.
you know what I
yes.
mean? It
And
was
that's why I
like-
asked, because I don't see that no more. I don't see the celebration of our women and the admiration of our women anymore.
Because these
And I
artists are
think
getting
that's
more
something
vain,
that
bro. These artists are
they
getting way more
yeah.
vain. It's like
Yeah.
the dudes and the rappers almost like that 30 for 30 song where it's like you messing with thinking they
yeah.
cuter than you.
Yeah,
Like, everybody
yeah.
thinks that they flyer than. So that's why you said
Well,
just
yeah,
bring your
because they're not
swimsuit.
giving.
It's
It,
like,
that's what I'm saying. It's
like
now
giving
it's
the
like the
attention.
artists want all of the, which
Yeah.
is fine. It's their song,
Yeah.
but it's like the story is what really sells. And for me that was a great launching pad for me, because that took me into movies.
Okay.
Because
talk
I was
about
able
that.
to, when you're on a music video, if a good music video, if you're smart, you'll learn
How to.
how to maneuver around a set,
Correct.
and
correct.
you'll learn your profiles, your sides, and
angles and stuff.
yeah.
What was your first movie? I know you were in Friday
Friday.
After Next. That was your first movie?
So
That was
let
my
me
first
guess.
audition.
Was the second one?
Really? I didn't know that.
Was the second one Scorpion King?
No, to be honest with you, I don't really know the chronological order of it, because a lot of times I don't even watch
Really? Okay.
the stuff that I do, but
Yeah.
and it was happening so fast back then for me,
Yeah.
because it was just like back to back.
Yeah.
And everything was getting bigger and bigger. It was just like I went from Friday After Next to working with Harrison Ford to working with The Rock to working with Usher and Kevin Hart, and
Yeah.
and it was just like Jim Belushi, and it was crazy.
What role do you want that you've never been able to play? What role? Is there a role that you haven't played that you'd want to play?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a couple.
Okay. Give me one. Can you, if you can?
Well, no, yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
fine. There's a comic book that's not Marvel.
Okay.
That I've been working on the rights to for almost 10 years. I've wanted this particular, and every time I reach out to the guy, he's like, "Oh, I just gave it to this Japanese music video director, and he's got it for 3 years, and then I'll check back in 3 years."
Got you.
So, but it's more of there's a comic book character that like is very similar to me, and she has a lot of backstory, which can take it into a series or a movie, but it's very action hero-y, kind of like my favorite kind of movies are like the Spartan 300, Troy.
That takes my question out the way, because I was going to ask you if you like action or horror more, and if you wanted to play something in those realms, different kind of vibrations.
No, it would definitely be, I just feel like I wish that they would let us be like the royal empress, the queen, or you know what I mean, of those times, kind of.
Correct. When we really were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part.
Okay.
So that it's between that and like, on a comedy standpoint, like Reno 911 is like
I love that.
That's like my
hilarious.
favorite style of comedy.
Uh-huh.
So it'd be that, or like I would like to play like a female version of Taken.
Okay.
Because I feel like I function on an extremely high frequency. So. I feel like I would be the perfect one to send in to get information, or like to, you know what I mean, to like get some kind of.
Now, turning it a little bit, what do you do, these days? I know you golf, so tell me a little bit about the golfing, and that's kind of where we met and were introduced through the golfing. Tell me a little bit about that. What got you into golf?
Well, originally.
Okay.
And this was probably back in like 2000. I don't know. It's been a while, but so me and one of my exes, we owned a production studio, a production company on the Universal Studios lot.
Okay.
And I was so proactive in the office as far as getting closing deals and things like that, or just making people feel comfortable or whatever it was. That he was basically like, okay, you are going to learn how to play golf because I need you to help me close some of these deals out on the golf course.
Okay.
And he got me a set of clubs and was like, okay, like kind of go figure it out. Not in a bad way, but it was just like no one ever taught me the mechanics.
Yeah.
It's like, just go swim. They just threw you in the pool. That's
Yeah,
probably
no,
the best
for
way
sure,
to do
yeah.
it, though.
And I figured it out. I played softball my whole life, so it was kind of like there was certain parts of it that were like really natural.
Yeah.
But the ball's not up here, it's on the floor.
Yeah.
So that was a struggle. But I just knew I could drive really far.
Yeah. You can. I'm a witness to that today.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it gets better.
Yes.
But so yeah,
Okay.
and then that's kind of like how I started.
Okay.
And then once I started traveling and moved out the country and things like that, I didn't take my clubs.
Okay.
So there was like a long hiatus.
Yeah.
So once I got back to America, I got back in 2022.
Okay.
I got my clubs back, moved to Dallas, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start playing, but I want to really like do it right this time.
Yeah. Yeah. So with me, I'm the golfing, and I usually go to the golf tournaments that are charitable, that have a foundation of some sort. What charities or philanthropy do you do, or are you a part of? What is your how do you give back, or help the community? What is your?
Yeah, I have a really special place in my heart for homeless, the homeless people, and I have a really soft spot in my heart for veterans.
Okay.
And so I have a nonprofit organization called the Helpful Society, which is geared towards veterans, U.S. veterans who suffer from mental health disorders
That
and
is so cool.
homelessness and
cool.
things like that. And it was funny because it's like traveling and living in different countries.
Yeah.
And I see how they treat their veterans.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we are tripping.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like so
We
many
don't
other
give them
countries,
any kind of like support.
they really honor
Yeah.
their veterans, and like like they make more money than professional athletes a lot of times, or they're just taking care of it. You know what I'm saying? And so when especially when I came back to America, I just was like, man, we got to do better.
Tell me more about that.
Like when did you start that?
When I got back to America,
okay,
so it was about
2022.
2023.
Where were you?
I was in France. I was living in the south of France.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long were you in France?
I left America in 2017.
In 2017. Why, if you don't mind me asking? Why
it's just what I do.
Yeah, okay.
I've lived in Brazil. I've lived in the Middle East.
Okay.
Holland.
Okay.
Germany. I just, if I go somewhere and I like it, I'll just stay. And it just turns out it just gets longer and longer.
Is the food like in France and all those places like you lived in? Because that's like Brazil, Germany. Like, is the food? Well, which place is better food wise? Because you had mentioned being a foodie like yesterday. Where do you? I guess what's your favorite dish out of the places you stayed in, or what do you remember about the food there?
I love food.
Yeah.
So there's like different things, right? So France is more healthy.
Okay.
And it's rich, but it's not. But like most Americans, probably I hear people a lot of times say that they don't like the food in France. They think it's bland and things like that. But it's not that. It's just that they depend more on the food to season the food. And the herbs and the spices.
They don't add all that unnecessary stuff. They keep
there's
it, like,
no
legitimately,
lorries or, you know, they slap your mama in the back of the neck or whatever that
they got that
one
I've
seasoning.
seen that slap your mama seasoning.
Yeah, like they just don't get, they just don't.
No, you're not going anywhere, are you?
Back to France?
We're just saying we're going to be taking a quick break.
Oh, yeah, no.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay with us.
Yes,
Can you stay
for sure.
with us? This is the Adverb Podcast. We will be back with more KD Aubert.
Bing, bing.
It's your boy Ito. We're here at the Wigwam. I'm here with KD, golfing extraordinaire. I'm not doing so well. She's doing a little better, but thank you for enjoying, my company
No,
and
this is
just
great.
being here.
I've been dying to play golf in Arizona, so I'm thankful.
How's the weather, KD? How's the weather?
It's nice. It's not as bad as I thought.
Okay. So Arizona, thank you for having good weather for KD.
And thank you for bringing me out.
This
has been like so amazing. Like seriously, like
thank you,
dinner,
KD.
the golf, my room, everything is great. The flight.
No, honestly, we want you to come back. And speaking of coming back, we'll be back. Adverb Podcast. Peace.
All right. Welcome back to the Adverb Podcast, everybody.
Yes, welcome back, Miss KD Aubert.
She didn't leave, so we didn't scare her off. She's still here.
We still got her.
And we wanted to bring up a little bit about music, and just kind of like, talk about your history with music and like what it means to you and stuff like that. So starting off, I know that you dabbled in making songs and everything like that. How did that process start and kick off when it came from transitioning to, acting and then going into music, or was it always something you were doing?
No, actually the music came before the movies.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had been doing music for a while. I used to rap.
Okay.
But it was a different.
And no, used to. If you got it, it's a muscle. So you probably still rap. We ain't gonna make you spit, but you probably still rap.
I would, but no, it's funny because, but I was a battle rapper.
Really?
Yeah, so it was like at football games
I can
and
see
stuff
it.
like that.
I can see it. Her eyes got that intensity.
Yeah.
No, someone step up. She's 5'10" too. So yeah.
And don't let me start talking about your mama, because I throw that in there. It's over.
I seen her come over this game looking ratchet.
Right. But no, that was kind of that was pretty much how it started. Okay. And then it was like, I forgot what, it maybe like in 2008. No, I don't know. It was like, I forgot when that was, but a friend of mine called me and she was dating some guy and he was like a rapper from Europe and he was in New York. And it's so funny. I've never been to a Puffy party, but I did record in his studio.
You're going to make us talk about a lot right now, because you said, I can't not talk about a little bit. I got questions.
Baby Oil Records.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You recorded in his studio?
Yeah, it was so, like back then, I was just excited, but that's where the guy was recording out of. And so she called me. She was like, he needs a female artist. And I told him about you. And it was just, I wasn't even really thinking about that. I was still playing softball. Okay. And so she sent me the song. And I called my friend Ralph Hawkins. And I was like, Ralph, I need to put something on this song. Can I come to your house? And so we went there and I recorded it. And I sent it to the guy. And next thing you know, they were like, yo, we're bringing you to New York. So I went to New York, recorded it. And then like some writers started coming in the room, and then I was working with some writers, and next thing you know, I was recording at I think it was Wyclef Studio in Jersey, and then they took me to Atlanta. I was recording out there with a bunch of big people. Like it was just crazy. But like, I can write, and I learned. Shout out to like Skip Sailor Recording. Shout out. There's so many people. Like one day, I want to really just kind of give them their props because I was like this young girl who would literally just sit in the corner and like watch these people work.
Yeah.
And it was like that's kind of how I developed as a writer, just watching DJ Quick and AMG Second to None. I was over there when they was recording.
Wow, that was a big one.
A1, like it was. And then Robin Thicke, like my boy Storm used to take me up to Robin Thicke's studio, and I used to just sit in the corner and watch them work because he writes a lot of Robin Thicke songs. He wrote the whole first, well, Robin writes also, but they wrote his first record album together. But my musical journey has been like crazy. Like I was in the studio with Dr. Dre and DOC.
Wow.
Like there's some serious moments that I've had musically that no one knows. I've never really like spoken about, but it's like
on your studio sessions, was there any one particular studio session that you feel like kind of out tops the rest that you can disclose with us? Like one, I guess, a moment where you kind of felt like, damn, like I'm really up in this. I mean, DOC
no, that was
and Dr.
it.
Dre, that was
no,
it?
that was it.
Yeah, 'cause that sounds like it. That's why I had to know.
I've had some moments. I've had some big ones.
Yeah.
But I think that like, so there was like, I had a Ken Joseph at Sony Records. Shout out to him because that was my first manager in New York. He took me over to Interscope, and we had a meeting with Jimmy Iovine, and Jimmy heard my music. He was like, yo, you need to go meet up with the Black Eyed Peas.
Will.i.am?
Will.i.am.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was
Good
like,
catch.
you need to go meet up with Will.i.am, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, I met up with Will, and he was just getting the money for his label. And then I was like, no, somebody was like, you need to take her over to Dre. So I went over there, and it was like they gave me my little test run.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and he's from Dallas, and I talk to him often in Dallas. And I told him just recently, I was like, dude, I don't know if you remember this. And I shared this moment with him. And of course, he didn't really remember it, but I never forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when Dr. Dre had his studio on Ventura Boulevard in LA. And I remember they gave me a yellow pad and a pen and gave me a beat or whatever. And I was just sitting there and I went in the booth and his booth was off to the side, and there was like a little window so you can like see them on the boards or whatever. And it was so crazy because I got through the first verse, got to the hook, and I'm killing it, right? And then it got to like the second verse, and I was like fumbling.
Really?
And it's because I was shook, yo.
Really? I believe it, yeah.
Like it set in finally,
I couldn't
huh?
believe that was happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, I can't do it. And it was like they understood once I explained it, but then they called me back in and write again, and I was like working with some of his other artists. He had a Spanish chick he was working with, because DOC was like really pushing to help me, stay in the fold. So I just recently met up with him in Dallas, and I shared that with him, and I was like, dude, I don't know. I was like, I've always kind of like, I wanted to just thank you for that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Is that something you still possibly want to pursue? What's going on with music now? Is that something you kind of just said?
Well, there's no money in it anymore.
Okay,
so
okay.
it's kind of like,
okay, fair enough.
But I do have music on Spotify and stuff.
Okay.
I changed my name up. Like I was like, I don't want to go by that. I want to have some type of difference, between the two. So I go by K.D. Rose.
Okay. Check her out,
Yeah.
K.D. Rose. Okay.
But the music is like,
Okay, I haven't listened, but I will definitely check
because
it out.
I was on some EDM type shit. Like I want to do something that's
Different,
everyone's
yeah.
not.
Yes.
Do you consider just writing, and just like maybe getting in just doing writing stuff? That's something you're interested in?
No, I know it's something that used to come to me so naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think now I would really have to just slow everything down to try to get back into.
Okay.
I feel it every now and then.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, and I'm surrounded by Grammy Award winning producers in Dallas. Like J Rock is in Dallas. He written some of Beyonce and produced some of Beyonce's biggest records. Jay White, J Rock. Their names all start with J. Okay. John Robinson.
Okay.
Like
big names.
They're all in Dallas, and I know all of them, and they still to this day, like I'm in my 40s, and they're like, KD, you want to get in? Like you need to get back in, and I'm just like, you know. So I have it's right at my fingertips, but I want to really.
I would like to take a second. Can we play a game with you?
Sure.
Okay. The game is called
You
This
wanna
or
shoot some
That.
dice? I got some dice.
Okay, you got some dice?
Oh man, I ain't got no money though.
No, I remember you showing me that video of them playing the dice with the Cash App. That was funny. Check that video out. But this game is called This or That, okay?
Okay.
I got a couple questions. He got a couple questions for you to understand you a little more, things you like. My first one is, would you prefer long walks on the beach or Netflix and chill?
Long walks on the beach.
Okay.
Would you prefer rainy days or sunny days?
Rainy days.
Rainy days. Okay.
like that.
All right. Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Okay.
Tom and Jerry or The Simpsons?
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my, they ain't got to say nothing. I don't even hear nothing. But just watch them chase each other all day. Bing, bang, bong.
Okay,
man.
because you're a foodie.
nostalgic.
I'm gonna throw a couple more foodie questions. So, pancakes or French toast?
French toast.
Okay.
Would you say, let's say, action or horror? Like watching, not acting. But action or horror?
Action.
Action, okay.
Okay. Good guy, bad guy. Meaning like open the door for you, or like, girl, this is even.
I don't want nothing bad.
Okay. Okay. Well, good to know. You clarified. Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Okay. Going horseback riding or going deep sea diving?
Well, I haven't done my charts in a while, so I'm gonna say horseback riding.
Okay. And my last one.
That's all it threw me. I had to ask. I was like,
my last one is reading or writing.
Ooh. I would have to say reading.
Okay.
I like to go on journeys.
What books would you recommend? What have you read that you're like, people need to read this book?
I'm reading a book right now.
Okay.
It's called Who Not How.
Okay.
And I think it's a really good read because it talks about how when you have something you're trying to get done, it's like don't focus on how you're gonna get it done. Focus on who you need to call to get it done. Like who do you need to bring into your fold to get it done. And by doing that, you make more. You free up more space for you to do other things and.
To expand.
Yeah. You and you expand in so many ways because when you do turn it over to someone else, which you have to trust that they're gonna, fulfill your vision or add to it.
Okay.
That's just the thing. They can add to it.
Okay.
And then like once you feel and see how much easier and how lighter it is to do that, then your goals start getting bigger because you're like, oh shit, well,
we could do this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I gotta do is like, think it up and then hand it off.
Yeah.
It's kind of
that's like the everything takes a team kind of aspect in a sense.
That's
where
that's what it says in the
you believe
in
the just allowing those that are coming into your circle to help you because things grow that way and stuff. So that's pretty good.
And I needed that to be honest with you because I am like a one-man band with a lot of stuff because I just have trust issues with like. NDAs can only do so much. You know what I mean? You kind of have to threaten people's life sometimes. No,
yeah.
Just kidding. I was like, yo, you take my. But no, seriously. But it's like, I could be much more productive if I did hand it off or if I did trust somebody.
Yeah.
Do
you feel like they're just not going to do it right? Is it more of just like you want to do it yourself? It has to be done a certain way, or is it just like? I haven't reached out to try to see who is available or who can help me with this. That's
it's a combination of things. I think that like sometimes I just don't think people are going to do it as good as I can do it.
I know. Okay, that's what I figured.
And and it's like, and then I have, like I said, I have trust issues. I just feel like. You gotta really like know that someone's You know, it's kind of like when someone passes away in your family and everybody was cool.
Yeah.
And then someone passes away and then there's this one person that turns into like a whole ass demon.
Yes.
He owed me money.
No, they end up like trying to snake some paperwork or something. Or,
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
like
they have the
sell
life
house.
insurance policy.
I mean, like that happens. Like I don't know. I don't want to say it happens in black families, but it happens in families. When family does that to each other, it's sad because like that happened in my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
like,
happened
you
in
flip-
mine. Yeah.
You change everybody else's trajectory that way too, because who knows
Yeah,
what
that's
was
true.
happening with
That's
with
true.
that family member and how they were helping someone else, or what that would have been in terms of help. So now it's like you
It's like
squandered
vultures.
something. Yeah, exactly. You ate away at something that could have grown or whatnot. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that.
Okay. So that sounds like a good book. I might have to go get that
Yeah.
book. Go get that book. What's it called again?
Who not how.
Who, Not How.
So it's like
Okay.
finding your who's.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like there was a who that helped you,
Yeah. Yeah.
facilitate this, or a who that teaches you how to golf or makes you a better
Correct.
golfer, and
Correct.
instead of you going out there and watching YouTube
yes.
videos and trying to just do everything on your own,
Yeah.
you're like, I need to find a who that's gonna
Help you out
help me
with what you want to do.
Right.
Okay. I want to get to know a little more about you.
I got a question about
I got a question too.
real quick.
So
So
go
on,
ahead.
that, on that who though, because I don't want to jump back.
Okay.
Do you say that like that's something you naturally were doing when you started finding the people in this industry as you started to progress and get discovered in a certain aspect? Do you think that that's something like some people have to learn how to do, but then some people kind of just know, and then that how they build their team a little easier and better than most? So would you say that that's something that was instilled in you, I guess, when you started finding the who's in every avenue, every juncture?
Because see, I used to get I'll give you a week to respond to me. Mm-hmm. And if I don't hear back from you, it's like I'll teach myself how to do it. I taught myself how to edit. I taught myself how to record music. I
That's
taught
me
myself how to
too.
make beats. I taught myself how to hang wallpaper.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like I don't really. It's not like I'm impatient.
Yeah, but
I just feel like you're not serious.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's
yeah.
like I am skilled
Yeah.
at so many things because I just felt like somebody didn't follow through or let me down, or somebody just
Yeah.
wasn't on their or they weren't serious, or just what have you,
Ball
Okay.
droppers.
Yeah, ball droppers.
Yeah.
Damn ball droppers.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know, what advice do you have for an up-and-coming model and or actress? And the second question to that is going to be, how did you maintain such a low-key career with no kind of controversy or any kind of, how does that happen? You've had a long career, and literally there's nothing, you can't find anything about you, especially anything negative. So how did you do that? And also what recommendations do you give for the younger crowd, the younger generation who are trying to aspire to model or act?
I'm not the person to ask
I
that.
know it's a loaded question.
No, to be honest with you, with the way the world is now and the way the industry is now, honest, I don't know how to encourage
Yeah.
someone. Like, I don't know that if I were interested in getting into the industry in this time,
Yeah.
in this day and age, I don't know where I would draw the motivation
Got it,
from.
got
You see
it.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like nowadays everybody's like OnlyFans. Oh, you want a model? You better get an OnlyFans. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's
yeah.
just
It's like change the trajectory of what it is and why you're out there doing
we
it.
don't even have magazines anymore.
Yeah,
So where are you gonna model?
that's true. That's true.
You see what
Okay,
I'm saying?
I
It's
do.
just it's kind of like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, and now you're like, okay, well, like I have friends who want to put their kids in the business, and I'm like, dude, you better quit your job and
Okay.
make sure that you're with them. But then
Okay.
people don't want to deal with parent managers.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're too overprotective
Yeah.
or just whatever. So
So if you don't have the time to be with them, do you not recommend it?
I mean, listen, it better be a passion. That's all I
Okay,
have to say.
okay.
Is it really better be
Okay.
like something you literally wake up every day
Mm-hmm.
and you're willing to like sleep on the floor almost.
Yeah. Now
Do you think it takes
speaking,
a lot of mental strength to like even like want to pursue something like that? Do you think that like
But where is the opportunity though?
that's true. That's
Like
true.
you like back then, let me tell you, like what I do tell people that want to become actors,
Mm-hmm.
I always say, I think the best place to start is in commercials,
Okay.
right? Commercials are 30 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can make like hundreds of thousands of dollars for that one 30-second, well, at least we did. I don't know what's going on now
Now.
because they've killed residuals. So it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know
It's
how
forcing you to
people are.
keep working,
Yeah.
keep going because like you said, they kill residuals and they get constantly always looking for work.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, I mean, I kind of like I heard with commercials, but on the commercial side, you do learn, like I said, with music videos.
Yeah, how to.
You learn about not to look into the camera, or you learn like if there's a camera behind you over your shoulder, you know not to go like this.
Okay.
Because there's a camera here, and you're gonna block that person's, or you're gonna block someone's light. Don't go in someone's light. Like you learn all this stuff on commercials,
Okay.
and you're not
and
there
music
that
videos.
long.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I tell people that. Like if you really want to like learn the game and you really want to, and the thing is you can go on like 6 auditions a day for commercials.
Because they're short and sweet.
Yeah. So you said, I would say from what you answered, it has to be a passion.
Yeah.
Okay. And that leads to my next question.
Well, and I didn't answer the second part.
Go ahead.
Of the question,
Yes.
sorry.
Uh-huh.
And, I think for me, it kind of, to be honest, it kind of sucks because I've always just wanted to hold on to my privacy. And especially like when I came back to America, it was just like this thing. Well, actually when like Twitter came, it went from MySpace to like Twitter, right? And then it was like
MySpace.
All
the trauma and drama from that popped up.
I'm gonna tell you, I miss MySpace. I was popping.
MySpace was dope.
But and so the thing is it's just kind of like now it's like this thing where like you got to let people know everything and everywhere you're going and who you're with and what and I try to learn from other people's mistakes because I feel like if you give people too much. They'll take that shit and bite. They'll attack you. Like people will turn on you.
Yeah, that's good advice.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've really watched how the world turns on people that they once loved so much.
Yeah.
Just because like somebody came out and said something, or it's just one little thing, or one person can say something about you.
Yeah.
And it can turn, and everyone just turns on you like that. You know what I mean?
Like that cancels.
That is so good advice. That's amazing advice.
You know what I'm saying? And I've suffered from it. You have to understand, because if I were to give everybody everything, like I don't even take pictures. I don't post pictures inside my house because I don't want people to zoom in on the window and find out where I live.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I'm
weird
saying?
these days. People pay attention to the wrong things. It's like he was, if you ask like, hey, have you ever had a fan or somebody like just really directly try to get into your zone or look for you or stalk you or search you out? Like, does it seem as if like that kind of stuff was happening back then as opposed to now? Because it's just...
Well, that's why I don't do all the provocative stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just cool ass KD.
Exactly.
I play golf.
Yes.
I travel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm working, I'll bring you on set and show you some work stuff. It was like, for me, I just want people to know me for work. You know what I'm saying? You could peep my personality and my sense of humor through the clips that I post and shit like that. And so I think what's happening is like, more people are like, I've never really had to deal with all that hater stuff and the negativity. Yeah. And I just believe what you put out is what you get.
Yeah.
And I love people.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, it's like I need people's energy.
Yeah.
In order for me to.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. Yes. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
I think isolation would probably be an issue for me. I'd have to like go into I'd have to go like meditation on a whole nother like ayahuasca or some shit. I don't know, but it's like I'd
probably good you're over in France during COVID in that regard, like away from all that isolation.
We were good.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even to be honest, like the whole COVID thing, French people are outside anyway. We shop at farmers markets. We buy our clothes outside.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like French people spend way more time outside, and they're inside the house by 9:30.
You can speak French.
Yes.
Can you say in French, "I love the Adverb podcast"?
J'adore le Adverb podcast.
Thank you. I have another question, and then I got one more.
You change your mouth when you speak French.
Okay.
You can't open your teeth.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
They say Americans, we speak with our whole mouth.
Okay.
And we say, and in French you never pronounce the last letter of the word. So if there's a T or an ENT at the end, it's like you say mon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mont.
I
You
had to
don't
take
say
French
mont.
in
Yeah.
high school,
voilà.
and the French teacher would, or in high school and in college, and she would make us like, you had to speak French coming in. You couldn't leave, like you couldn't come in and start talking English, or she'd make you get out. So her way of like, the aggression and her like teaching us French was speaking. She was always saying things, and I didn't learn that in high school where you didn't say the last letter. He would let us get by with that, so I'm getting kicked out of class because I'm saying like the full thing, and she's like, not, and like, man, you dismissing me. It's like,
But you know what's crazy is I actually went to school during the whole COVID thing. That's how I got my citizenship.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah,
okay,
so I was,
okay.
and it was so dope, to be honest, because like no one knows who I am over there. Some people, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So I was taking the city bus
Okay.
to school every day, and I really integrated with the culture because that's what, like, I was a whole ass immigrant. Like,
Okay, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had to learn the national anthem. I had to learn all the presidents. I had to learn how the whole country works. Like, I had to learn.
Everything,
Everything.
pretty
like
much.
becoming part of that culture. You
Yeah,
become
so
part
I
of that culture.
really like,
Yeah.
you know, became that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
way
got-
different than here.
My next question is, what makes KD happy? What genuinely makes you
Food.
happy? Food. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Food
So, like,
and
yeah.
golf.
Okay.
I'm
Food and
easy.
golf. Okay, that
Are you
is
good?
easy.
Are you good at like chefing up some of your own meals?
I'm a
like,
chef.
Oh, that's right. That's right. What's your favorite meal to cook?
Anything.
Okay. Okay.
I make a goosey.
Okay.
Yeah,
A goosey.
I
Shout
love it.
out
I
to a
love to cook.
goosey.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my
Nigerian
Nigerians.
food is actually probably, I would have to say, it's probably my #1 favorite cuisine. And I eat everything. I love Ethiopian food. I love Japanese food. I love Senegalese food. I love French food. I love like, I'm not a big fan of like the British. It's a little different, like
Okay.
baked beans and
Okay.
for breakfast.
Yeah, it's bland. I was on a flight to Nigeria in October, and it was just bland because I had to stop at Amsterdam to get to Nigeria. It was just so bland. We're going to be wrapping up, but I got a question for you, okay? And I'm sure the fans want to know this. The Friday series. Friday is coming, a new Friday is going to be coming out. Are you going to be in it? Do you want to be in it? Tell me more about that.
Sorry. You know,
The fans want to know. This is literally, if I didn't ask this, they'll get to me. They'll be like, why didn't you ask her?
I just try not to think about it because I really am hoping that they do bring me back for the last and final Friday.
Yeah, me
that'd
too.
be slick.
But I just have no control over it.
Yeah.
I do know that they're working on it.
Okay.
I do know that the script is being written.
Okay.
I believe Warner Brothers is going to put it out.
Okay.
And you know, I feel like, and I don't know if I'm entitled to feel this way or not, but
Okay.
I feel like I will be so crushed and devastated if I'm not brought back. But you know, of course, the role that I played every Friday has like a beautiful girl or just whatever. So it's like
I would say though, because watching all of them, you know, as everybody's a fan of the Fridays, on the acting tip, and I told him this, I was like, I think you did a better job. Honestly.
Are you saying
And
I
think-
appreciate
and I'm
Nia
saying-
Long?
Yeah,
Okay.
on the acting tip because of the difference.
because of how I am in real
and-
life.
and that
Yo,
Friday,
she's not like
and
that.
then that Friday they brought a lot of different new characters. So the dynamic, everybody had to get like what's his name? The
Who?
big dude.
Who?
from-
Big
Terry
Worm?
Crews.
Oh, Terry Crews. Yeah,
he had to
Crews.
have his moment. Cat Williams had his moment, and you being next to Cat Williams is pretty big because
That
he
is
stands
big.
out. Like
Yes.
Ice Cube and Chris Tucker and everybody and then Mike Epps, everybody had their moment, but the energy of that last Friday was big because
It was really big.
Yeah.
Cat Williams became so much, and you're really attached to that. And just outside of that, watching you next to him and watching you next to everybody there, I did see that you conveyed a better role. So
Yeah.
outside of saying, you know how everybody has to have a new love interest in the movie, they could feel you could do a lot more than just be that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could be somebody they see, I don't know, doing whatever. And you know how
Yeah.
they do that with roles, but that would be something people would be like, oh man, that's dope because
Yeah.
I'm sure that you would still shine doing whatever else they'd set
You would
set
shine,
set you
yes.
and doing that anyways in that movie. So
Yeah.
I hope we see
I
you
hope
in it
so
too.
too. I
truthfully, 'cause-
really
yeah,
hope
hashtag
you
bring back Donna.
Bring back Donna. Yeah,
bring back
exactly.
Donna. Hashtag that.
But what else, like outside of just that role, like what's up for the future with movies, acting, or music?
Well, I'm
your own
producing
personal
now.
brand?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that as an actress, you kind of don't want to end up being like sitting around waiting for someone to create something for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
wanna be able
and
to have control.
I've started companies and I've got a lot of things, not a lot, but I've got some really good things going on. And the golf world is embracing me a lot. So that's actually, I'm thriving
people
in
tell
Yes.
me before, like, oh, you got the interview, she be golfing. Like they said that on the phone. Everybody I know is like, yeah, she be golfing on TikTok. I was like, oh yeah, how you know? Like, like before I even came up here, they
Yeah.
were like,
I
yeah,
have fans
see-
at the golf. People come up to me at the golf course and be
I
like
believe
telling me
it.
they follow me on the tickety talk. I'll be like, hey,
The tickety talk.
TikTok.
Hashtag tickety talk. She got a cold swing. We'll put that footage up in a minute. But
There it is. There it is.
Good job.
That was hard, but
we are so honored to have you. Now, before we close, the NBA Finals. You played softball, but I'm sure you played a little basketball. Am I right?
course, yes.
Okay. So tell me about these two teams, Indiana Pacers and the Thunder. Who are you going for anybody? Who's your team, first of all? Who's your team?
My team in basketball.
Yes.
Dallas.
Dallas Mavericks are your team. So Luka left. He went to the Lakers. Were you hurt?
Who?
Luka. Okay.
Hold on.
So
Do you have a player like in the NBA you kind of know of, or that you watch more than anything? Like, it don't have to be a team. Like, what about the
Deion
NBA?
Sanders.
Dude, that's NFL. That's NFL.
God.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Just kidding.
We talked a lot about basketball,
Yeah,
so we
so-
just kind of wanted to get your
Oh
idea.
yeah, no
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah,
Seriously.
The Thunder and the Indiana Pacers are in the finals right now. Our picks, he picked the Thunder way back.
I've been out the country, yo, for real.
Okay,
Like
okay.
my team used to be the Lakers, right?
Hell, shout out.
No, but listen.
Oh, that's a real fan right there.
Yeah,
I
he's a
knew
Laker
she was going to
head.
say that.
Used to be, because what happens is and it makes it hard for me to be honest. Like the players rotate so often now. Like you go get a jersey and you start to support a player, and next season he ain't even on the team.
It's like it ain't like the '90s where everybody stuck to the squad.
Remember how
and
everybody
shit.
used to
Yeah.
stay on the team? It was like the Lakers. You knew who you were gonna see every year, and so it got to the point where I was like, damn, when the Lakers started just rotating. I was like, man, I can't even.
searching for a chip. Everybody on that chip chase.
Yeah, and then so it just, to be honest with you, it's just kind of hard. It got really just confusing for me.
Yeah, got you.
Okay. But I live in Dallas now, so I'm gonna support Dallas.
Yeah.
And and whoever's on the team, I support them.
Enough said.
I got a question though. What's a bucket list like before you dip out? 'Cause I know we coming close to it. What's a bucket list item you let people know that you haven't done that you want to do?
I don't know. I've done everything.
I know. That's why I'm asking. Maybe there's like something in the back of your mind you can think of that's just like, you know what, KD ain't never ... Let me get that going, like, or whatever that might
I
be.
think about that sometime, to be honest, and it's just kind of like, and I have.
You've done it all.
But you know what I've never done?
What?
I've never zip-lined.
Zip
Dang.
line.
See, look at that.
Okay.
I've never
time
zip-lined.
you
But if I
visit-
do it though, I want to do it somewhere that's gonna somewhere like in Thailand or something.
Where the monkeys are in the trees making noise when you pass them type stuff. Like,
I'll punch a monkey though. Let me tell you, because they be attacking them people over there. I don't know, but yeah, like I
said, "I'll
think
punch
just
a monkey."
it's like that. It's
Yeah,
like I've
yeah.
done
You've
the
done
river
it all.
rafting.
Yeah.
I've done so much.
And I will say you've done it with grace and elegance, and we're just so honored to have
Yep,
you.
that's what
I
you
hope
brought to
you
the show
come
today.
back. I really do, just to kind of hang with us, and we're just blessed to have you. Thank you.
No,
very
and I
much.
appreciate you guys too. I just want to tell you, this has been like such a great experience.
Cool.
Oh,
I
You
yeah.
love
guys,
that.
they have spoiled me. Like,
Shout out to the
Yeah.
Adverb podcast.
Yeah.
yeah, let me tell
I'm
you.
gonna lean in
if
and say
you
that's a
come-
lot of
if
this. A
you're
lot of
a
this
guest
man's ideas
on this show.
That's a lot of
like,
this guy's ideas right here from day one.
No,
you,
yeah,
Katie.
for
Thank you.
sure.
Yeah, but we a team and we appreciate you coming with the team, and
I
we
felt
want
the love
you
since
back.
I touched down. for
And my
real.
boy Don back there, we see you still. He's over here. He's coming back
See you,
too,
Don.
cause
And Don's gonna get on.
Shout out to
yeah,
Don.
Don gonna drop the gems he gave us for y'all too, cause you gotta pay for that. That ain't free. The game ain't free in that regard, but
You
he
won't
gave us
see
some
Don
free game, and we
here.
appreciate it.
Yes. Shout out to the OGs.
And you gave us some game too, so thank you for stopping by.
Oh
Thank you.
yeah,
Appreciate
for
it.
sure.
It's the Adverb Podcast. It's your boy Ito
And Mark, y'all, thank you
and
for stopping
KD.
by.
Holla at us. Peace.
Take care.